if I were to say about my experience here, I can say like 2024 like is the year which in my life, if I was to redo a year, it would be 2024. Like I've never had to worry about money and all that. Like all your expenses are sorted. Like I always like have my embassy back in Kenya. They're always like very ready to help, which is not so common.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a special someone, Olivia, and I'm going to allow her to actually introduce herself. Then we get into the meat of the conversation. So please, Olivia, kindly introduce yourself.
Hi, Anne. Hi, everyone. So thank you so much for giving me this chance to come to your channel. I've really been looking forward to this session. I remember us having a conversation from last year, and we've really just been going back and forth to this. But really, I've been really looking forward to this from the word go, and I'm just so glad we're getting to have this session right now.
I'm so glad that you're able to make the time to come on. And today, Olivia is here to actually share her story, her Maeci scholarship story. I know most of you actually just finished putting in your application for this academic year, and she's here to also share her story of being a Maeci scholar. So, first of all, like, tell us, how did you hear about the Maeci scholarship, and then about studying in Italy?
So, just a little backstory about how everything came to be. It's actually very funny because I remember in 2022 when I graduated in 2022 March 31st, and everything was just coming so quick. I was asking myself, Olivia, what is the next step? You get the confusion when you just graduated, like you're turning on to certainly a very different world. You're trying to figure out, you're really not sure what you're going to do. Sometimes you're even confused with your course. You did something which you're not really, your mind has changed. So I was like, on my graduation day, I was actually trying to figure out, it's 2022. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my course. I had done my internship at the Nairobi hospital, which is like the best hospital in Kenya. But then after graduating, I was figuring it out. So I kind of made my mind that I was going to try to get out of the country. So I started to look for opportunities. So I did that in 2022. Then around August, I was just online, but then a lecturer sent me the Commonwealth Scholarship, the one for the UK. And I was like, okay, let me try this one. But the Commonwealth actually, it's more massive with the application and everything needed. So I tried the Commonwealth Scholarship in 2022, and then the results were to come out in 2023. Of course, towards the end of September, things did not go so well. So in 2023, again, towards the end of June, I saw an advertisement. There's this WhatsApp group. I don't know how I got there. I think a friend of mine added me to a WhatsApp group. So a link was sent there, and during that time, I was trying to apply different scholarships. There was one in Mexico. There was one in the UK again for like the different universities, the individual universities independent from the Commonwealth, and then there was one for Italian, and then there was one for regional scholarships. So I applied like so many of them. So at this time, I also realized that I didn't have a university which I needed to like put myself there when you're doing the application. So I noted while I was putting in my application, I wasn't sure with this, but I just put different applications in place. And then I was waiting, of course, just like a few others are still waiting now. So it started all with an urge to like move to a better place and to find something better for myself as I figure out like life as a young graduate. That is how it started, and with online.
you know, each and every story is unique. And that is why Olivia is here to actually also share her story.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, kindly take us through the process, you
Mm-hmm.
went through in applying for the Maeci scholarship. I know
Mm-hmm.
as you were looking back on it today, it is people, it is groups like the ones you were in. Other scholars have shared about they hearing about the Maeci scholarship through online search, through their lecturers, through their
Mm-hmm.
friends and family. It is some of these rare moments that brings us the opportunity, that help a life-changing opportunity. So sometimes the fact that someone thought about sharing such
Mm-hmm.
informative information with you is something to be really grateful of. But we want
For
you
sure.
to actually take us through the process that you took in your application.
So in my application, really after seeing the link, I was like, okay, I'm going to try the government scholarship by Italy also amongst the others I was applying. So I just like clicked the link, and the first thing which came was the first page which you fill your details. I just fill them randomly, but luckily I already had my passport before, so that wasn't an issue, and traveling wasn't an issue. I had also like read before that if you were to get the scholarship, then you'd be going to Italy within the same year, like in 2023, which is last year. You'd be going there. You'd be relocating to Italy in September. In September, and then towards that year, you just like have a whole new life which you'd need to adapt to. So I filled in the application form. My everything was okay. My CV, they asked for my CV. I made sure I wrote my CV and everything. I did a little bit of research about how to write my own CV. So I did everything for myself. I didn't like look for a consultant and everything. I'm a big fan of YouTube actually. So everything I've always had to do, I've always researched on YouTube, went online, TikTok, and I just kind of try to look for the backstories of the people who have been there. So I went and wrote my CV, made sure everything was okay. I put it there, and that is how like I came to apply everything. Everything they requested, I already had, but it isn't like 100% sure. When you're applying, you're usually casting your vote just like everyone else. But
Yeah.
I made sure that in everything that I did, my CV, I casted my best foot forward. Everything, it was professional. So I was like, okay, I'm putting my best foot forward and hoping for the best, for the very best, like everyone else.
Okay, 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 okay. Okay, so I remember in the conversation you spoke about the fact that you realized that you needed to also have applied to a university. We have
Mhm.
this,
Oh my
joke that
goodness.
we have this whole joke, that I usually laugh at I laugh at other Maeci scholars just like yourself. There's a whole story where so many scholars actually never applied to a university during the application. I don't know, is that your story too?
I actually realized when the scholarship was closing, like in 5 days time, and then I didn't even have any university at that time. So I started very fast looking for universities. I looked for Milan, I like Roma, Sapienza. I looked for like all over the place. I was trying to look for like just an admission which I could put there to verify that I already had a university. At that time, even like right now, it's June. Most of the applications have closed for the September intake for international students.
Hmm.
So that was the same case because this was not something that I was preparing for. Like initially, I wasn't preparing for Italy at all. I was preparing for the UK.
Hmm.
So when I realized that this scholarship was still open and for 5 days, what I did was trying to see like which universities were still open and a background also in my course, because when you go to every university website, you will see like they have requirements. These are certain courses that you must have had like experience in or you must have done in your prior education. So luckily I found University of Parma, and like it was having my course also. And I was like, wow, are they open? So I tried, and the application was actually like closing in 2 days for my course during that time. So everything was really tight. So I just said, okay, I've never applied for these universities in like abroad, but what I'm going to do again, I'm going to search for information on how I can like apply for all this and do this myself. So I went to YouTube, like I just did a little research and all that about how to apply for like foreign universities and all that. And of course, I started to do my application. So I was like following how others had done their procedures and all that. So I was doing with them. And that is how like I applied. I had my CV and everything. And luckily also in this case, I also had my English test, which I had done
Okay.
in 2022 also, because I had started this process in 2022. So I had my
Okay.
English test ready. So the verification for the English language wasn't a problem for me. So 2 days was just enough, really. So I did
Mm.
everything and sent in my application, and they sent me a link that my application was successful. So in my application, and I was also applying for Maeci, that is now 3 days to closing. I put my link there and everything, included like the form which they usually send you, like when the application is successful. I also attached it there, and so I had like how can I put it, evidence that I have a
Mm.
university already.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Yeah, but
Wow,
when you're
wow.
applying, also when you're applying for the scholarship, it wasn't a must for you to have already been pre-enrolled in a university. So that
Yeah,
was like a major point for me. It was just
yeah.
like you to verify that you have a university already, or you already started the process. You're not just applying for the sake and there's no validity.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's actually true. That's actually true. So now you put in your application, for both the university and that of the Maeci scholarship. How long did it take
Mhm.
for both the university and then the Maeci board to get back to you?
Oh my God. For the university, actually, it was very hectic because I remember when I put in my application, they were like, there are a few things, Olivia, that you haven't put in place and we need to correct, we need to confirm about them. So they were like, my name was wrongly spelled when I was making in the application, and the one in University Italy, they were not the same. The thing is, when I was writing my first name and surname, it was different with the ones like in all my documents. My first name, I just wrote like one name, but it should be like two. So it didn't
Mm.
match with the one I had written in University Italy. So it took quite some time, because usually also reaching out to the school, they have like so many people reaching out to them. They're trying to
Mhm.
correct all that. For the school, it took quite a long time, like around 2 months, going back and forth, trying to rectify my name and to give like
Mm.
all these documents which they were requesting for. But
Okay.
really, for other people, usually it takes even like 2 weeks. University of Parma is very fast with their application. So
Oh, okay.
once you like do everything, if you do everything in the right way for the first round, then your pre-enrollment and everything will really come fast. The acceptance letter will really come fast.
Okay.
So yes, but for the Maeci scholarship, that one I waited for like 1 month really, because I was also like the last people to apply.
Mm.
So I was contacted towards is it August?
Mm.
Early August. Just
Okay.
like now we're in June, no, we're in June,
June,
but
yeah.
then yeah, towards the end of July. That is when like they
Okay.
contacted me, and then they set a scheduled interview for a specific date. I remember it was somewhere in August. So now
Mm.
I was preparing for an interview.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
That is so good to know. Okay, so you got yourself, you had to prepare for the interview and everything. After you were done with the interview, how long did it take for them to get back to you on maybe having passed the interview, having been selected? How long?
After the interview, actually things were pretty fast, because once you get shortlisted, they will always like only contact the people who have been shortlisted amongst like all the applicants. They will send you like an email, you have been shortlisted, and then they're welcoming you for an interview, which they tell you to prepare for. So that is when like everything starts and you're like, really, I need to pass the interview and all that. But once you like do the interview, you kind of wait 2 to 3 weeks maximum. That is when like they got back to me and they were like, congratulations, you have you have been selected to be one of the scholars and all that. And I was like, oh, I was like, no, this is real now. So I have to really, I have to like. At the same time, I was like, really, September is just here, and it was like everything was so rushed now, and adrenaline was starting, and you're starting to figure out how am I going to fix in between everything within this time. And remember, all this time there is no one I had told like I was going through this process. No one, even my family members, no one knew I was like planning to go out country. Everything I was doing on myself. Yes, no
Wow.
one, even my mom, my sister, no one knew.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Wow. I could just imagine how proud they they were after getting to know that you had actually put it through and it worked.
Hmm.
Now let us talk about the visa process.
Hmm.
You've just been contacted that you've been selected for the Maeci scholarship. How easy, or like I say, how difficult was it for that of the application for the visa? Was there a need for you to show proof of funds? Was it really difficult?
Oh my goodness, the visa is really difficult, and like you're required to fill a lot of procedures for you to get it. I remember in my case, I needed to like prove funds. I also needed to like show like accommodation and all that. I needed to show my school acceptance, which by the way, luckily after that time, like during that time, they had already given me acceptance letter, and this was also like very important for my scholarship also to be approved and confirmed.
Mm,
So they gave me everything, and the visa process is now starting. When you apply for a visa in Kenya, especially a student visa in Italy, what they require you to do is to provide them like with all the evidences that you have a place you're going, the school has already accepted you, and you have someone who is going to take care of you where you're going. You're not going to be a burden there, or you're not just going anywhere where you have no proof of where you're going to stay.
mm,
So I remember I started to like work on my funds. It found when I had funds in my own account. I was actually like working in as an intern in Kenyatta Hospital. It's also like one of the best hospitals in Kenya. So I had this internship, but the amount in my own account were not really, they were not matching with the amounts I was being paid in the internship because I was like
mm,
doing other things. So explaining this process, explaining my funds was really difficult. So
mm,
we decided that it was better if we could like just use like someone's account, like my mom's account or my parents' account, because I had also read somewhere that it was really better if you cannot use yours, then it's better if you can use like your guardian's account. So we decided that we would work with my mom's account, which was also another problem because you have to like work on these funds, transferring them and explaining the source of these funds. And it felt like that time when my mom is like a businesswoman and the business is not also registered. So it
wow.
was it was like a big problem because when you write all these things and then someone is going to like stand in for you financially, you need to also prove the sources of funds for that person and your
Mm,
relationship as well.
yeah.
So we were able to like write a few things about the business and also like added in some few assets to just prove that even if I go outside there wasn't going to be like
Problem.
much trouble of me having to get stuck and all that. And also
Mm,
like when it came to the embassy, they gave me like a letter for the scholarship. which was
Mm.
also like acting as a guarantee that I
Granted.
wasn't going to be, a burden in a
But
country I was new to. So that
yeah,
also helped me a lot with the visa. My visa actually came out in one day. Like I applied and attached everything like today, and then tomorrow everything was okay. I had my visa. So
wow.
I was ready to travel and
Wow, wow,
Mhm,
wow. That is fantastic. That is actually so, so, so good to know. And
mhm,
let's talk about, after they releasing the visa and everything, you prepared, you taken your flights, you landed here in Italy at,
mhm.
the University of Parma. How was the feeling like?
Uh, the thing is, I was actually even the first day I was so confused because I actually came through Rome. I landed my first time in Italy. I came through Rome, so you can imagine the distance from Rome to Parma. I have never like been so confused. Zero language. I had no experience in this language. I didn't even know what to say. And the worst is I landed here at 10 p.m. My flight landed at 10 p.m. So from Fiumicino, I booked like a hotel, and getting to that hotel was also a big problem. So after landing, I had to look for my luggage, which everyone is telling me the luggage is there in Italian. I'm wondering where, how did you get to that place? You ask this person, they answer you in Italian. You ask this person, they answer you in Italian. So I stayed like at the airport, Fiumicino for another one, like an hour, trying to figure out how to get my luggage and all that. And then I came out and now I was trying to figure out how to get a taxi. So the taxis outside there, all of them were just coming in their books. They're coming to pick someone. So I didn't even know how to book this taxi again because also my phone was like had gone off like earlier. So it was really difficult. Then someone who was, I think he was speaking English, just a little bit English, which like you is not so well, but you can understand. He told me, no, you can just take like like a metro trans, and it will just take you directly to your hotel instead of trying to book these cabs because the ones coming here are already booked. So that is the person who helped me with an idea of how to get outside the airport, Fiumicino. And so I reached my hotel around like 1 p.m. because also this hotel they had like a lot of issues when I got there. They were like, you came late, so now we cannot like accommodate you. The time which you had agreed on and the time which is here. They had just so much issues until like in the end they didn't even allow me to sleep there really. So at this time I was just like, no, Italy, this is not how I had planned my night and all this. So I also actually met another good Samaritan again, which until today we never talked. I don't even know where she went to, but she was like a Senegalese lady. This lady, like, I think she was just a good Samaritan because it was so, everything was just so complicated. We went to like, I think like 10 hotels that night, and all of them were so full. All of them were packed, all of them were to the brim. So we walked with this lady until around 1 a.m. is when we found a hotel. So at this point, I was like, I'll just pay any amount as long as I can sleep. But really, I think if anyone was in my situation, the best thing would have been to sleep at the airport, which I didn't realize at that time. But if I had like realized my hotel would have issues, I would really like advise anyone just sleep at the airport. Don't even come out. Spend the
That's
rest of the
true.
night at the airport, and the night is also like very short.
Mm,
So
mm.
all these processes, like everything, I ended up sleeping at 1 a.m. and I also had like a train booked to Parma at 7:30 a.m. So I ended up paying like how much was it? It was like around to 50 euros for that time because there was like no shortcut for how much for just like paying less for like sleeping for 4 hours and all that. And at this time we had like looked for whole hotels, and this lady also is someone who was just praying, oh God, please let this lady be a good Samaritan and be genuine. Because I didn't even know if this lady was just leading me to take everything I had and all that. And the streets, everyone was looking at me so weirdly. They just know this is a newcomer. So my first night in Rome was not so good, really, but I've adapted.
Wow, wow, such an experience. I'm just so sorry that you had to go through that, and your first day had to be that difficult. But then tell us, now you've been in the University of Parma for a year
Yeah.
now. How has the experience been like? How has the experience of
Mhm.
studying on the Maeci scholarship in Parma?
The experience here is, I think, is fairly good for me, because also like the rent, you just have to make sure you find a rent which suits you, because the money they usually give it in installments, so like 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. That is when you'd be given like the money. So I usually plan with the money, like you plan 3 months ahead with all your budget and everything intact, so that you do not like get stuck in between where you have to wait for money. And also like my course, you don't have to go to class every day. You can sometimes just study from online, and that's the best thing. So I have like a lot of time to do my personal projects and all that, travel, go to other places and see well, what Italy has to offer. So I think Parma is really a good place for students. It's not so expensive, it's not so cheap, is affordable, it's medium. You just have to make sure that you're working with a budget which is within your range, really.
Yeah, okay, okay. So before I let you go, you know, share with us, do you think, do you regret ever having applied for the Maeci scholarship? What would you like to say to others that have applied for the scholarship? And would you say it has really given you a bit of ease in your studies, because you don't have to worry about money and everything? Like, what have your experience basically been like having studied for the first year on the scholarship?
If I were to say about my experience here, I can say like 2024 like is the year which in my life, if I was to redo a year, it would be 2024. Like I've never had to worry about money and all that. Like all your expenses are sorted. Like I always like have my embassy back in Kenya. They're always like very ready to help, which is not so common. Most embassies, maybe they don't even reply. You find people complaining this and that. In my case, even if I was to call them today, they would sort my problem, which
Wow.
is something, yes, which is something I'm really grateful for. So I just have to like live, make sure like I do my best, do the
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. But yes, but my money is really sorted, which is not something I have to worry about. I just have
Yeah.
to, yes, I just have to make sure I'm doing my own personal things, maybe to add my own income here and there, but worrying that I don't have rent and all that, which is really a very big thing when you're abroad, because you can get stuck, like you will get stuck without even planning it, and you will see yourself getting stuck. It's not a joke. I've never
Yeah,
had
yeah.
to worry about that and all that. And so personally, I'm really so grateful for the chance that they have given me.
Scholarship. Thank you so much for sharing that. What would you like to say to, others that are coming in that have currently applied for the scholarship? What would you like to say to them about the scholarship, about studying in Italy? Your final words to them. And basically, even if an advice, what would you like to say to them?
For anyone who is like planning or who has applied for this scholarship, I would say that this is like the best chance. The young person, we're very energetic, and I always tell myself you can achieve anything as long as you are a young person. Be someone who takes chances, take risks, because really without risk there's nothing you can achieve. See see everything as a chance to get something better, and hope for the best. It's not like you're entitled to get this scholarship, but as long as you put your best foot forward, pray and just put your wishes to the heavens that they may also align with you surely, and everything will be okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on. Guys, please do know Olivia has her own channel. I want you guys to go support her. So I'm just going to allow her to share her details, her Instagram, wherever she can be found on social media. She's going to share with you. I'm going to leave it in the video description so that you go and support her as well. So please do share your details with us.
Thank you so much for having me today. Really, I've been hoping to get this chance to connect with you. We really planned this. So my YouTube channel is Olivia Doreen. My Instagram is also Olivia Doreen. My TikTok is also Olivia Doreen. Everything is Olivia Doreen, but with an underscore at the end.
Okay.
Yes. So those
So
are
I'm
my
going to leave.
channels. You'll find me there. Yes.
Okay. So just like I said, I'm going to leave all my details as well in the video description. Go follow her, go subscribe to her channel, go support her as well. And then if you have any question at all, you want someone else, you want to just reach out to her to ask questions because maybe you might have applied for the Maeci scholarship, you're coming from a
Mm-hmm.
country, or even if you're coming to study at the University of Parma, do
Yes.
ensure to connect with her, do ensure to shoot her a message. And then if you're not on our Telegram group, she's one of the administrators on the Telegram
Mm-hmm.
group. So do join us as well. So thank you
Yes.
so much for coming on. It's just been, I'm just so excited to have had the opportunity to speak with you. I just remember a year ago when you reached out to me, and I'm just so glad of how well you're doing and how good your
Yes.
studies are going as well. So, guys, that is it for this video. We're going to see you in my next video. Bye.